Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Road-to-Ruta.com. Epic battle in silver today. CPI numbers came out. Remember, the CPI numbers are rigged just like everything else. But somebody didn't give the riggers of the COMEX the notification that people really want physical silver now. They're just tired of the bullshit. India needs it. China needs it. Everybody needs physical silver. And yet the banking establishment, the Treasury, and the Fed are like, no, you can't take our silver. We're going to crush the price every 2 seconds. So we had the price of silver absolutely jump on the CPI number, which came in saying, oh my God, the Fed is going to have to lower rates. It's such a joke. The whole thing is bullshit. I don't know what the COMEX price of silver will do when the system falls apart. I would assume they just shut down, claim force majeure. Could it be on Monday when Cliff High's prediction of July 15th? Oh, by the way, there's a great discussion on Jean-Claude's, that's Jean-Claude's channel, but I don't know why I'm on that other one. So everybody needs to go to Jean-Claude's channel on Rumble, his discussion with Cliff High to check out thoughts about what's going to go on Monday, the 15th, and right around there. Cliff's data for a while has been saying these crazy times. And could it be that silver is a participant in those crazy times? I believe it is. I think from the Jenny Moonstone discussions I've had, and by the way, I'm talking to her today, and that will be posted on the private road. We get so deep. What she says, something happens huge on Monday as related to silver and the banking system. But it's a precursor to what's coming up later. So let's just say silver breaks $32, $33 and starts running to 40, and then they get it back under control, and then in September is when it's cut loose. As in all the banks are cut loose. And I think everything will be gone by the end of the year because a few reasons. The biggest reason is the good guys want the system to be clean. They don't want the system to crash on their watch. So if Trump got in now, it wouldn't be a good thing if the system is still puttering along. Everybody in the entire world knows what's going on. The rigging of the markets, the control over gold and silver, it's obvious. So, yeah, if Trump gets in for the good guys, and then you have a collapse on his watch, they'll blame him. If you collapse it on this ridiculous administration we have right now, they're going to blame them. So I think it is time to pull the plug. And silver has always been the Achilles heel of the banks. They can't get out of their short position. The large banks can't get out of their short position. What they can do is shut down the COMEX. I think that's what's going to happen. Could be a banking crash. They could declare force majeure. Anything could happen. Chaos, dead ahead. Dead ahead, chaos. So today the battle is at, I don't know where it's at. Silver was up $1 right here on the news about the fake CPI print saying, oh my God, we're going to have to lower rates. I do think they'll lower rates ultimately, and which will cause gold and silver to moonshot, or at least be explained as the cause. Remember, there's a lot of lessons to be learned in this matrix that we're living in. And one of those lessons is, if you print too much money, it's a bad thing. So if the Fed all of a sudden says, oh my God, you have to lower interest rates to save the world, that doesn't save the world. It's just a little pinprick in the bubble asset world we're in right now. So it looks like silver's coming back from a potential slam up $1 and then started to slam down. These are volumes that the banking cabal hates. The banking cabal, they almost got out. Well, they didn't almost get out. They still had a hell of a lot of contracts, but they were getting closer and closer to getting out, and then they found out, oh my God, if we stop shorting on the COMEX, it's just going to run and keep running and not stop. There is no end in sight if we stop shorting. So we're going to have to short forever. until we shut down the COMEX. And I think that's coming, the shutdown of the COMEX. Because right now, what's happening, people are being smart about it and delivering in London. So again, yesterday we had 1,000 exchanged for physical contracts, which is 5 million ounces, again, going to London for delivery. If you look at Harvey Organ, the HarveyOrganblog.com, he's doing a great job at tracking this. I think this year, 2023, at the pace they're going, will be probably 1.5 billion ounces of silver exchanged for physical, meaning it goes to London to be delivered physically because they won't let you do it in the United States. And by the way, it's going to China and India anyway, so might as well just take it in London and go from there. Especially India. The India silver import numbers are coming out. They should be decent. From me looking at the IIBX, which is the new Indian physical silver exchange, that started in December. This month will be better than last month. February was gigantic. But this month will be better than last month. Not out of the park, though. Those days are coming. Because India doesn't like to buy when the price of silver is above the moving averages. India is waiting for the price of silver to go below, right now, below $25.47. And then they'll load up on hundreds of millions of ounces. But the banking cabal knows it. Janet Yellen knows it. That's why she ran over to China to say, stop making electric cars. Stop making solar panels. What are you doing? Which is the most ridiculous thing ever, because we've been screaming at them that they're too polluting for the world. They're polluting the world with their coal plants. So, yeah, lots going on right now in the silver world. You're going to see a big jump in volume for today because volume was kind of 250 million ounces traded yesterday on the COMEX. You might say, oh, my God, 250 million ounces in a single day. Bix, that's crazy. No, the entire thing is crazy. I've seen 2 billion ounces trade in a single day. Because they're not trading silver. They're trading silver derivatives. Big difference. Huge difference. Massive difference. Open interest is 800 million ounces. I would say 95% of that, of the short side, is the banking cabal, the top 10 bankers. HSBC being the number one right now. They have delivered more silver than anybody all year. That's all they do is deliver silver. That means they were the shorts going into the end of the month. And they're the ones who couldn't close it out. Now, for a long time, HSBC was the entity used by the U.S. Mint to hedge their silver and run their hedge book. I don't know if they are now. It seems like it. Ventures Gibson, the head of the Mint, can't seem to make a silver eagle if it kicked her in the ass. Which means that she's probably not closing out that short. Remember, when you hedge your metal, your inventory, when that inventory goes out the door as a sale, you're supposed to close out the hedge, meaning you have to buy that hedge back. And that's what killed them in 2021 when they didn't buy the hedge book back and they lost $110 million because they're screwing around with the price. I think the same thing is happening right now, but we won't know that until next year sometime when the annual report comes out. Anyway, yeah, very interesting time. And I do think Harvey Organ is going to see, I think the old record, let's see, there's 1.1 billion last year, 1.1 billion the year before. I didn't total that one up, but yeah, it's a lot less. I think we're looking at 1.5 billion exchange for physicals going over to London for delivery. We're going to need probably, my estimate right now is 500 to 600 million ounces of silver just for solar. Yep, everything's going TopCon now. Everything that's being installed, all that inventory of PERC, the old style of solar panels that have been stuffed in the warehouses, and are so cheap you can almost get them for free right now. Those will probably, about half of that, 100 million ounces, will just end up not going anywhere, and it's not at $50 or $100 silver. It's not really economically feasible to recycle silver out of them. So we might just see that silver just go into the ether. If you have a big storage area, might maybe buy up all the old solar panels or the new solar panels that haven't been installed. But there's better ways to do that. Just go buy yourself some physical silver. You don't have to worry about the cost of getting the silver out of the solar panel. But there's a lot of silver there. I remember reading an article a few months back saying that solar is the deep storage place for silver now, because we will be pulling this out 25, 30 years from now, and theoretically we will be able to recycle it more efficiently, and theoretically the price of silver would moonshot by then, if allowed. But remember where we live. We live in a country that you don't have any freedom, especially no freedom of markets. And that's the first sign of the destruction of the entire system. That's where we're going now. I'd say 90% of the problems we have in America right now, why we are being destroyed from internally, not to mention all the illegal immigrants and all that stuff. But I would say the vast majority of problems stems from the rigging of markets, and the rigging of markets not only happens on the COMEX and the gold and silver markets. It's the U.S. stock market, the bond market, the global FX market. They're all rigged 100% by the computer programs originally written by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s. I had a really good discussion with Grok, the AI Twitter thing, about the road to Ruta theory. It went on for hours. At first it was like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory invented by Bix Weir. And I'm going down the whole process of how I came to understand what was going on behind the scenes, especially getting into Alan Greenspan. I'm like, well, he was a computer programmer. And Grok was like, well, he was a computer analyst. And I walked him through who his best friend was, John Kimmony, the guy who invented BASIC, and who his mentor was, Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed. And Grok put it all together, and by the end, it's like, oh my God, yeah, that's what happened. Even went down through the gold in the Grand Canyon, and what would be the ramifications of introducing billions and billions of ounces of gold into a system that only had a couple 100 million ounces in the early 1900s. And Grok, the AI, came out with the exact same answer I did. They would create something like the Federal Reserve to control the introduction of massive amounts of gold into the system. So it was a great discussion. And somehow it got deleted. And I didn't delete it, but somebody did on the other side. I guess they didn't want me to talk about it. Again. So, yeah, that's where we are. So today looks like it's going to be a big day for the Biden administration. Momentous press coverage looms today as cracks form in Biden's Senate wall. Donations dry up and delegates rebel. The reality is, I've said this, as soon as they announced that Biden had invited Trump to have a debate 3 months before they usually have debates, I said they're setting up Biden for the takedown. Now this will be very tricky. So this will be the end of Biden, because look what they're doing. It's a setup. Despite President Biden and his team attempting a major, multifaceted counteroffensive aimed at silencing demands for him to call off his reelection, the push to bounce Biden off the ticket has grown stronger, with major new developments in the Senate and elsewhere fostering a growing sense that the 81-year-old's campaign is in its final days. Today could be the coup de grace when Biden hosts a rare solo press conference. He just doesn't do it. He can't do it. And they know that, so why are they setting it up? That's outside the ideal time window, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., in which the administration sources say he's best able to function. And it will be held on the south grounds of the White House with a forecast temperature of 91 degrees. This is a setup. As if that weren't enough to stack the deck against him, the presser will come after Biden has spent a full day in NATO meetings, including a session with the Ukrainian President Zelensky, the cross-dressing fake president of the Ukraine. On top of that, Biden will face a press corps that has been reprogrammed to accelerate the ongoing establishment coup that's seen as the last means of beating Trump in November. As we noted in our press conference preview, quote, with Biden on a precipice, Thursday's press conference could be a contest among reporters striving to cement their place in history by being the one to give Biden the decisive shove off the cliff. he will be. It's going to be sad. It's elder abuse. It's elder abuse that they're putting him through this. Don't get me wrong. He deserves 1,000 times worse than what he's getting right now, even at this old age. There is no mercy when it comes to this evil person. What he's done to, well, yeah, you know, if you're woke enough, you know what he's done. Talk to Jeffrey Epstein and the Clintons and all that. So yeah, I do think this will be the final push off the cliff. As I said 6 months ago, they're trying to get him out. So what do you have? Will they kick him out of the presidency? Will he resign? Which brings Kamala into the picture. A lot of stuff coming out about Kamala being, all kinds of things back when she was dating Willie Brown back in San Francisco. Yeah. And we all know how completely incompetent Kamala is. No, I don't think that the Biden presidency, or if Kamala got in, the Kamala presidency is the real presidency. I think there's something else going on behind the scenes, and it's pretty obvious for those of us who have followed what happened. The election, how Biden got sworn in 5 minutes before he was supposed to be sworn in, all kinds of things. The old Hunger Games stuff around the inauguration. All that stuff was pretty obvious that something else is going on. I do think probably the military is in charge, but I like to hope it's the good guys, but you never know. You never know. But it's all coming to a head between now and the election time, as I've been screaming for a very long time. Silver will take its rightful place as the destroyer of the banking cabal. And so you need to have your silver in your hands now. Now. Don't wait till Monday, whatever Cliff's prediction. Something's going to happen. It seems like something can happen. But we'll find out, right? I don't know anybody who's saying, boy, the future's looking bright for the economic system. Then again, I do know that they have the ability to rig markets. They have the ability to create as much money out of thin air as they want. They have the ability to crash the system through a crack-up boom. As in, the Fed drops interest rates to zero, everybody runs into the stock market for the final. Gold and silver go crazy, and all of a sudden, one bank fails because of the commercial real estate, and poof, the entire system gone. No checking, no savings, no retirement, nothing. I think that's where we're headed, but it could end on a crack-up boom. Yeah, you have $100,000. You had $100,000 in the bank, but that's gone. The bank is insolvent. The derivative bubble is the ultimate killer, and silver is the only thing I believe that can really pop that derivative bubble. Skewer it right through the heart. The Silver Knights are here, and it is our time. It is our time to take back our country, take back our monetary system, and it's going to be very chaotic. So hang on to your hats, my friends. Again, I'm talking to Janie Moonstone later today. Go to Road to Ruta if you want the private road discussions. Lots of great stuff. I'm sure we'll get into some great stuff about the Silver Knights coming to save the day with silver. Get physical silver in your own possession. If you don't have a local place you can buy it, contact Andy Scheckman. Send him an email, info@milesfranklin.com. I highly recommend U.S. coinage, pre-65 coinage. Best out there. Sometimes the premiums get high. I remember buying it as when premiums were below melt. So a lot has changed. And why do I recommend U.S. coinage? Because there will be a difference between when we go to a gold and silver standard and crypto or whatever we go to. There will be a difference between silver rounds and silver made by the U.S. Mint. That is the money of the United States of America. It is the constitutional money of the United States of America, gold and silver as money. So I do think there will be I wouldn't even call it a premium. There's two different types of silver. And I think that's what Cliff was seeing in his data, that one type of silver really goes through the roof. They both do well, but one really goes through the roof. He thought it was a molecular part of the silver atom, which may be, flying cars and all that stuff. But I believe it's the fact that there is a difference between coins made by the U.S. Mint, the legal money of the United States of America, and rounds and sovereign coins and other sovereign coins and stuff like that. So that's where we are. And oh, by the way, if you're investing in silver eagles, those are classified as numismatic coins in the law, so they can't confiscate those. They could probably confiscate everything else. But will it happen? Can you really confiscate gold and silver in the age of the internet where information is available everywhere and it's a global market? You could, but you're going to have to shut your borders, which is, could be something we do. Lots going to go on between now and the election day. And you think it's crazy now? Just wait for the next couple weeks, and especially a couple months. Especially watch for September, October, for the mother of all crashes that returns us to a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. We never were a democracy. Democracy means 51% of the people get to steal your rights. I vote that we kill 49%. Oh, there you go. There's your democracy. No, we're a republic. The rights of the individual vastly outweigh the rights of the majority. That's my take, at least. We are currently giving away Veritasium tokens. I think Veritasium will play a big role in the restart of the system after the old system fails. And I believe that Cliff's data is correct, that the U.S. government will go to Reggie Middleton and say, we need peer-to-peer transactions. We gave you the patent for that. Reggie has the patent for peer-to-peer capital transactions in cryptos. How they apply it, we'll find out. But we're giving away one Veri token with every private road subscription. Go check it out. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.